The lady that was kicked out of her Section 8 apartment.
If you ever thought about getting a property and doing Section 8 because it's guaranteed money, you might want to think twice after watching this video.
You tenants, y'all need to act right.
Well, you already know. It's time to clock in with Jesse and Money Minds. In today's video, we are going to be watching clips of people getting kicked off of Section 8. And I'll be sharing my thoughts on what not to do if you find yourself receiving subsidized housing in the US. Section 8 already has a bit of a bad reputation with a lot of landlords because of the kind of tenants it sometimes attracts. So if you are in a situation to where you depend on this type of housing assistance, then you might want to stick around for the video. And hey, if you find this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button so YouTube would know to push it out to more people. And also subscribe to my channel. So with no further ado, let's get on with the video.
So the lady that was kicked out of her Section 8 apartment because she made 10 bands selling those candied grapes. Boo boo. If you see this, boo boo. If you see this.
But you know, I know I'm behind on the times, but can somebody put down in the comment section what in the world is candy grapes? Because I am absolutely clueless. There's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm just gonna let the video play and then I'll give you my final thoughts.
Next time, if it's a next time, when I say you have to be so careful with letting people know, like, your every move, what you getting, what you want, this is this, her, and that. Like, and if I lived in, like, Section 8 apartments where it's only Section 8, I would have never been selling to them hoes. Period. I wouldn't have been selling to nobody over there. I'd have been delivering candy off-site. Nobody, no candy grapes off-site. Nobody would have even knew. You have to be so careful. You messed a bag up. You in Section 8. And you made 10K. You was making 10K a month. You messed a bag up. Literally. And they said one of the people that she sold the candy to or whatever over there is one of the ones that called and snitched on her. You should have knew that. They in Section 8 just like you. They ain't gonna want nobody. They don't want nobody. First of all, even if they wasn't, black people do not want to see you above them. They do not want to see you prosper more than them. They do not want to see you higher than them. Don't be out here telling everybody what you doing, how much you made, woo-de-woo, broke as hell. That's what you tell. It ain't making ends meet. I'm gonna always be broke. I'm forever broke. Period. That's how you got to be, girl. You can't do no side hustle like that and then bag up.
You know, the sad part is that there are people out there who actually need the help and they really can't get it because you have people that is like the woman that's described in that video who go out and take advantage of the system. If that lady described in that video was receiving $10,000 a month, she shouldn't be receiving any kind of housing assistance. What is that, like $120,000 a year? That is more than the average salary in the US. And the saddest part is it's people like her who make it hard for those who really need the help to not get housing assistance. If you find yourself on Section 8, count yourself lucky and try to do everything in your power to do things the legal way so that you can keep your benefits. Now we're going to move on to the next video.
If you ever thought about getting a property and doing Section 8 because it's guaranteed money, you might want to think twice after watching this video. Of course, Section 8 is a government-backed entity, so the money is guaranteed. However, Section 8 has an unfortunate reputation for leaving your property in an awful condition when they leave, and this is one of those times. I'm going to tell you how this Section 8 client unfortunately left one of my properties in awful shape. Roach infestation. Let's discuss. Yeah.
Oh, they was renting this joint out.
Carpets tore up.
Yeah, the roach infestation is pretty bad. I honestly don't know how people live like that. The other thing too, it doesn't really look that bad. I've seen a lot worse, much worse. If you are a landlord, this is just one of the realities of renting to Section 8 tenants. So I'm going to let the video continue to play, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on it.
Stuff all on the wall. Took down the smoke detectors. This is bad. This is awful. Dog scratches for a dog that wasn't supposed to be here. And I do want to say not everybody under Section 8 is like that. And you can have regular tenants who leave your property like that. So it's not just all Section 8. But Section 8 does have that reputation for people leaving your property in shambles. So the entity of Section 8, they do need to do a better job at vetting who they bring in. They need a better process to ensure that the house is still up to code, still up to standard, because that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I agree. The housing authority could do a better job at vetting the tenants. From my understanding, the only requirements is that they don't have a criminal background and that they have stable employment. And one thing they could do is to encourage a closer collaboration with the landlord and the housing authority by having some type of damage fund or some type of reference system, so that landlords know like who are the good tenants from the bad tenants. If you are on Section 8 and you're trying to find a landlord that is willing to accept you, you might want to bring a reference with you. Show them that you are a good tenant. But yeah, I do understand what he's saying. So we're gonna move on to the next video.
Alright, so let's just go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes of things, let you know the 411. You tenants, y'all need to act right. Y'all need to act right. I am a person, I take pride in the business that I run. I take pride in being a landlord. And I do not like irresponsible, raggedy people. I do not like irresponsible, raggedy people. So I'm going through my first eviction in California. I love where I'm from. I love it. But California is not for the landlords. They all tenant, just pro tenant. So anyway, first things first, my tenant doesn't want to pay me rent because she thinks she got some weight. She's standing on some type of reason to withhold rent. And she don't. So, I don't know if she was calling my bluff, but I'm filing for eviction. And I really do feel bad that I have to file for eviction because you're showing me that you so pent up, tensed up, you can't even talk to people. You want to go pay somebody to make sure that we communicate. I got to go pay somebody to make you communicate with me? That is crazy. So you making me spend money because you don't want to communicate, so you think it's okay to withhold rent. So she want to withhold rent because she's saying that I caused her financial hardship with making her experience food loss. So the freezer went out in my unit, not the refrigerator entirely, the freezer. So I said verbally, I'll get you a new refrigerator. I don't have to per California law, but because I said it verbally that I would get a new refrigerator, I'm going to stand on business and I'm going to go and I'm going to follow through with my verbal word. So I get the refrigerator. Mind you, the refrigerator doesn't come on time because she doesn't make time to receive it on time. She is busy. So I deliver the refrigerator at her convenience. And then she hits me with, oh, I lost food in my freezer and you don't care about me and I want my rent to be prorated. I wanted to say that word. That's what I wanted to say. I said, no, I'm not prorating your rent. You received your refrigerator late because you were too busy to receive a new refrigerator.
I heard about the real estate laws in California, and I don't understand why anybody would want to be a landlord there. I mean, there are so many laws that protect the tenant. I don't even know how any landlord is profitable there. But yeah, that's crazy. This is why a lot of landlords require for you to have renter's insurance, because in cases like this, just in case if the fridge goes out and you lose your food, they can reimburse you for that. Okay, I'm gonna let her continue on, and then I'm gonna comment at the very end of the video.
So here we are now. Eviction. So in California, because it's a really bad homeless problem, there is a law that the tenant has to be behind a certain threshold before you can file for eviction. So 1 bedroom maybe 1,800, 2 bedroom maybe 2,800, 3 bedroom is what I'm experiencing 3,300. I had to wait a month, 2 months for her to get behind on rent. 2 months. Mind you, she a Section 8 tenant. And I love Section 8, you know. I don't treat people that's on Section 8 wrong because I love them. You know, yeah, they don't got the full funds to pay for this high California rent, but I treat them just like a regular person that does not withhold a voucher. So anywho, she had to surpass that threshold. So once she passed the threshold of $3,300, I can then file for eviction. So she's sitting up at my house, scotch free, probably feeling like the queen, biz naive, for 2 months. Just like, oh, ain't nothing about to happen over here. And you know, that don't sit well with me. That don't sit well with me because I work hard for mine. I fought for mine. I worked hard to be where I'm at today. So for her to know that she's sitting up, feet kicked up, it bothers me. It really does. Because I worked hard to keep what was started for me. And so now I got to deal with this. But I'm grateful because every lesson that you learn only make you stronger, make you better. So whatever, I'm standing on business. So anywho, so boom, we here now. I filed for eviction, $2,000 for a lawyer, and the paperwork has been filed. So yeah, I'm here, and I don't like it, but this is life. And anything that God put in front of me is obviously to make me stronger. So if anybody has went through any type of eviction and you're a landlord, what is the time length that it took for you to get them out? And how did they leave your unit? I am praying that this girl do not turn my unit upside down. Because as soon as she get out, I'm trying to hurry up and get somebody in.
This whole situation sounds complicated. If it's true that the tenant lost food because the freezer ran out, then she was right to ask for a credit, but withholding rent gives the landlord legal grounds to file for an eviction. What the tenant should have done first was pay the rent on time and then request for a credit. That might have changed the dynamics between her and the tenant. Now, if the landlord still refused to grant a credit, you know, she still has other options. She can take the landlord to small claims court, or she can also file a complaint against the housing authority. Both options are far, far cheaper. Now they are going through the eviction process. It's bad for the landlord, and it's even worse for the tenant because she might lose her housing voucher. It's a real bad situation to be in. So if you are receiving Section 8 or you are receiving some type of housing assistance, you don't want to be in this type of situation. Try to learn your local laws and become as educated as you can. Because, you know, rent is high. Judging by the statistics, a lot of people are spending upwards of 40 to 50% of their income on rent. So you really don't want to lose that. If you find value in this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This is Jesse, clocking out.